We're talking about who is Jesus now. If you were to put your faith in Jesus Christ and his death and his resurrection, how much of that is the mental assent, to simply mentally kind of convince yourself that that happened as a historical event, therefore I'm now saved? And how much of it is the trust and reliance part? And is it important to have both or not? How do you distinguish?
Oh, I think there's both. That is, it's not blind faith. So there is if you like, a mental assent that you say, this God, this Jesus, is trustworthy and able to do what he says, and therefore worth putting my trust in. But it actually is nothing unless you do put your trust in it. You know, an old example often used is of a chair. Do you have assent that this chair will hold you up if you sit in it? Well, yes, I do. Well, sit in it. Well, no, I don't want to sit in it. Like that's a bit ridiculous,
yes.
Sort of thing.
Yes.
Some people have also used a slightly more comical example. The Blondin, I think his name was, who used to tightrope walk across Niagara Falls. Right. I mean, why you'd want to do that, who knows? Yeah. But people would watch him, and then they'd say, well, do you believe I could carry someone across? Yes, we do. Well, let me carry you. Oh, no. I mean, I wouldn't do that either, even if I believe he could. That seems crazy. Yeah. But the idea of, there's a mental assent that it's not just blind faith. Yeah. There's something that you recognize. This God is real, trustworthy, able. Jesus manifests that. He's worth following. Yeah. The question then has become, well, put your trust in him. And what will that look like? It's not merely mental assent. It's about actually trusting and following this Jesus, accepting his values, seeking to be like him in character, things like that.
So for someone who wants to or tries to put their trust in him, but it can't bring themselves to, in this new secular scientific empirical age, accept the scientifically implausible idea that he resurrected from the dead. Mm-hmm. How does that person approach faith in Jesus if they can do the reliance part, but they just can't accept a seemingly unscientific notion?
Sure, I understand that. Well, I think we have to say, remarkable though this is, and I cannot explain the resurrection from the dead, there is enough testimony to it that gives me enough confidence to say it's worth following this Jesus. So there's something attractive about Jesus, as I said, but there's something about this resurrection that makes me think, well, I don't understand it. I can't understand how people can rise from the dead. However, I also, in the bigger picture of things, there is something more about just physical existence on earth, in my opinion.
Yes.
And there are other stories of people who have near-death experiences, see something else, that make me think there is something more. I mean, sure. Most religions are clutching at something more.
Yes.
Whether it's reincarnation. Not that long ago, in the news was the death of that Thai boy soccer star, yep. And the idea of his parents back in Thailand was tragic, really, for him. But to bring his ashes back so that they won't be caught in some non-space or something. Now that's a Buddhist framework there, but there's this clutching at something, and I don't mean that critically. The word clutching of being critical. We want there to be something. There are little signs of there being something in different ways, whether people experience voices or ghosts or the sense of something else. The resurrection is, to my mind, the most objective of that sort of thing, that death can be conquered.
But then there's still that leap of faith that I mentioned.
But there's still a step of faith. That's right, because it's not proof.
Yes.
But we don't have proof for historical events.